Show me any truly successful person, and I will point out his or her team. There is no exception to this that I or anyone I know has ever been able to find. Life is truly a team sport. That includes work and personal life. Being a successful spouse and parent requires a team effort, and being successful in this business requires a great team.
What I like about Nu Skin and I like about all the distributors is that we're in this together. Together is a very important word because we've got to work together. Now, at the end of the day, there will be people that want to go it by themselves, and that's fine. You respect everybody's individual choices, but the power of Nu Skin is the collective action, the fact that we can all move forward towards a common vision.
Everyone have their handicaps and the shortcomings. And if the people as a team and everyone don't need to make up their weakness, but they compensate each other, so the team become very strong.
自分のグループっていう感覚は全くないんですね。チームでやってると。そして僕が得意な部分は僕はやるし、ダウンラインの得意の部分はその方がやるし、アップラインに力を貸してもらうこともあるし、チームでやっている。そして一つになって、同じ方向に向いているということでね、動いていると思います。ですから、自分がリーダーなんだっていう気持ちは持ってるんですけども、そうじゃなくって自分の役目に一生懸命やる。できることはできる、できないことはできない。それをはっきりするってことですね。それと自分の、タイトルアップだとか、表彰っていうのは意外と感動しなかったですね。それよりもグループの方がタイトルアップしたり表彰される時の感動は数十倍僕は感動しました。
The teamwork is all of the people working together toward whatever goals they have. Now, of course, the goals have to be that which helps the rest of the team. And that's part of what is so marvelous in the network marketing concept as it's spelled out in the sales compensation plan with NSE. It's a team effort. As you help the people in all of your levels deep, you're helping yourself. But that just comes as a byproduct of the teamwork of teaching your first level to teach your second level what to do, so that then the second level can teach the third level of what to do, and all the way down to the sixth and even the seventh level, which you can get paid on in this business.
一人はね、一人の力しか出ないと思うんですよ。でもそれをチームでやると、みんなの力が働きますから得するんですね。だからなんかその自分自身で一人でやらないといけないと思う人もいるんですけれども、それよりも近道よりも遠回りやけれども近道よということで、みんなの応援もらった方が得だから、みんなで活用しましょうよと思ってます。
Team begins at home. When I first got involved in this business, I sat down with Giselle and the children and made an agreement that I would be putting a few hours a week into this business. So our initial team began at home. I encouraged the children to participate in goal setting.
My suggestion to anyone, wherever you are, whatever stage in life you're at, is value your relationships and particularly nurture those relationships that you have with quality people who have ambition and who are building their personal skills so that they're ready to meet the future. Because those people sometimes will be a transporter to your own career, and sometimes will be a life raft to your own career.
I think our uplines play an important role in our company and in the lives of each individual distributor. And it has to do with not making the same mistakes that have already been made. A lot of education comes through experience. People who have been involved in the business, in our company, in Nu Skin, have gone through a lot. If there are mistakes to be made, often they've made them. And their greatest satisfaction is helping make sure that new distributors who come into our business don't have to go through the same thing. So listening to them, understanding, learning from their experience and benefiting from that experience goes a long way to creating a successful distributor.
I think one thing that impressed me very much with Nu Skin Company is the Nu Skin's culture and spirit of supporting distributor at any length. And so whenever I would tell a new distributor, if you run into a problem that your upline cannot help you, always go to the corporate. There are staff who are ready and able, willing to help, and usually problem can be resolved that way.
チームワークの重要性というのはうまくいってる時は非常にいいんですけれども、万が一その落ち込んだ場合、そういう時には本当にその周りの人の手助け、その影響力、これによってまたその落ち込んだ時のパワーの充電というものが可能になってきます。
You understand the power of one is one, but the power of many is endless. There is no infinite number to many. It goes on and on. And that's what we have to capture the idea of when we work as a team. And that goes sideline as well, if it's possible. If it's possible to help a sideline, like when we first started in the business in the San Francisco Bay Area, we had 5 or 6 sidelines come to the meeting. Well, hey, that was a wonderful team. We used to have many hundreds of people come to the meetings, and it wasn't because Connie and I had a big downline, which we did, but it's because, think of this, if you have 25 people come to a meeting, how exciting is it? But if you have 500 come to a meeting, it's a lot more exciting. And that teamwork between cross lines then just literally accelerates the results, because people come in and say, whoa, there's a lot of people here. I better catch what I may be missing here.
このビジネスにおいて、チームワークっていうかやっぱり仲間ってすごく大事ですよね。で大きな目標に向かって、人生を成功さすために、人生を変えるためにこのビジネスをやるわけですけど、その時に人間ってみんな一人弱いんですよね。強い人もいるけどもやっぱり弱い。だけどね、どんな強い人でも弱い人でもグループが一緒になることによって、なんかこう人のことをちょっと気にするから助けようとか、あいつに負けたくないなとかね、仲間でありながらあいつに負けたくないなとか、助けてあげたいなという、そういう別の気持ちが出てくるから、自分一人のパワーよりももっとすごく強くなれる。だから僕は絶対的にチームっていうのは一人のね力よりも、多くの人間のその小さな力のね積み重ね、1% の人がいっぱい集まった 100%、1000% とかの方が絶対強いから、そんな風にやっていくとこのビジネスも成功できるし、で何よりも楽しいからね、一人でやるより。
My business life has been characterized by close relationships with other talented people who I have been able to work with to accomplish more than I certainly ever could do on my own. In college, I made a friend who I hung around with mostly because he was funny. It wasn't until later that I learned that he was also wise, Blake Roney. Blake is a fun guy, and he's a wise guy. And it turns out he also has a very keen business mind and has a very clear vision about what it takes to be successful financially and to run a business. Well, I didn't know the first things about him, but I knew he was a good, decent person who was a lot of fun to be around. By keeping that relationship healthy later on in my life, it turns out that the greatest business opportunity of my life came into being. Truman Hunt and I were friends. Truman knew Blake before he knew me. I met Truman through Blake. We became friends. We went different directions, went to different law schools, but years later, because that friendship was there, a very, very important to me relationship turned into a business relationship too, that has allowed me collectively with Truman and with Blake and I could go on, Sandy and many others have allowed me to accomplish things that I could never do on my own.
Actually, I remember in the early days when we joined Nu Skin, that's in 1988, the company is relatively small. And at the time, we only have the U.S. market, but U.S. is a large country. So I think a very unique culture for Nu Skin that I think is quite different from any other company is the spirit of cooperation. People from different lines work together, helping each other. And I think that's really a key factor of why we become successful today.
It's the individual that's going to make it really happen for themselves, but it's that whole feeling of we are on track to become the most distinguished network marketing company in the world. We're on track to feed hungry children. We're on track to be a force for good in the world. Our ability to do it is through the team effort. That's why we have, let's say, the convention, the global conventions. That's why we have fly-ins. That's why we have all of those opportunities for people to get together with like-minded individuals that are set on positive tracks and encouraging them.
Because some days you say, I'm done. That's it. I can't do this, you know. I mean, I had this great person going and they quit. And you get depressed or you get discouraged, and that's when it's nice to have another team member, you know, another person you're working with, a sideline distributor, a cross line, an upline, a downline, somebody who you can talk to that kind of says, wait a minute, it's not the end of the world. That's just one person. And you're going to keep proceeding, because your success in this company is never going to be based on one person. It's going to be based on a lot of people over a long period of time. And as long as you understand that and you're willing to keep after it and keep working, then you're going to do fantastic.
Attitudes are contagious. This can work to our demise as well as our benefit. If someone had the flu, you wouldn't go hang around them. Why? Because you would get the flu. However, if you want to be happy and successful, then hang around happy, successful people. Soak it all in, because you'll catch that bug too.
And if there is someone that is speaking negatively, walk away. They sap your energy. There's no reason to listen to it. It's not wanting to shelter yourself from anything that could be negative. It's simply saying, I don't need it. I need to hear positive things. I don't need to hear so-and-so and so-and-so. I need positive information. And it's out there. And if a conversation sort of goes a little negative, it's your responsibility to say, yes, that might be true, but have we thought of it this way? Can we change this, oh, you know, so-and-so didn't come to the meeting, to how are we going to get 10 people to the next one? And that is most likely to happen with team energy and support. And if you don't know how to do it, ask somebody else how they did it. Because people like to share the good news.
I was 53 when I started in this business, and I already had a career. I was a decorator, and I loved it. That was my passion, and I didn't think that anything else could ever take its place until I started traveling with Dave. And the people are absolutely amazing people, and just being around positive thinking people that have goals, people that want to make something out of their lives and other people's lives. And my passion, I think, is to help people to see that and to find that and to and really go for it.
I tell people to remember that this is a team effort. I've always perceived my position as a position of representing the distributors to the company and the company to the distributors. You cannot tear either one down, or it all comes down. You have to keep everything as strong as you possibly can to build the team. People have to recognize where gratitude and be grateful for the opportunity, for the company, for their upline, for their downline, and recognize that they are no better than they are as part of the team.
If you have negative influences in your life, you know, whether people who you surround yourself are constantly trying to bring you down to their level, then you know what? You need to make some hard decisions about who you're going to associate with. You associate with people who have positive attitudes. You read books. You attend meetings where people are positive about, not only about this business, but just about life in general.
I think one of the consistent principles that we have in our company is to stay away from people who aren't good. They don't help our business. They won't help you. And long term, we don't want them to be part of our company. They detract from our mission. They are inconsistent with our values, and they won't help us succeed, and they won't help individuals succeed.
Blake is famous for many things. One of his famous quotes, though, is, "Don't sponsor unpleasant people." That statement has a lot of wisdom in it, because you can be pulled down by people who don't share your vision or who are difficult to be around, but they also rub off on you, and their unpleasantness and their negativity sometimes can be incorporated into your own personality. The good news is that personality traits are contagious, and by keeping yourself happy and vibrant and positive and looking forward, you can lift the people around you. Sometimes we get married and we'll have a spouse who simply doesn't share the vision that we have. That isn't fatal, because we grow up together in relationships, and but it's something that can't be ignored either. You can't just say, well, he can be negative if he wants to, but I'm going to continue to go forward. You need to work on those issues and help them to see the joy that you're finding in a business and the positive things that are coming to you because of what you're doing, and your enthusiasm over time will chip away at your spouse. We have distributors in this business whose husbands or wives, and I can think of examples on both sides of that equation, were hostile to them coming into the business. Didn't think it was something that was worthy of them, didn't understand the business, felt that it was a problem for whatever reason. And then flash forward 5 years, and it's that spouse that started out antagonistically who now is the chief cheerleader and is on the stage and is doing a lot of good. Go to a Nu Skin convention and watch people walk across the stage, and I will be able to point out to you a number of people who that's happened, where the positive spouse has ended up literally changing the life and personality of their spouse in a positive way because of the skills that they nurtured here in this business.
There's not little areas or little pockets of negativity. It's people in general are skeptical of something that sounds too good to be true. And sometimes we sound too good to be true because we have great products, great opportunity, and a company with a great heart. And people like to think that that's not possible. But I say it is possible, and we have a reflection of that in our company, in our products, and in our opportunity. And there's going to be skepticism no matter what, but it's your opportunity and job to turn that into a positive thought.
In terms of your success team, surround yourself with people who you can learn from, people who have experience, and once you learn, then be willing to pass that knowledge on to others. Also, share your goals with people who believe in you and will support you. It'll do you no good to share your goals with people who will rain on your parade, who could potentially cause you to doubt yourself.
We all go, I would like a coach, I would like a trainer, I would like a teacher. Whenever you think of starting something new, you look for someone that has more information. And when you sponsor someone into the business, they're doing the same thing. They're looking to you and saying, what do you know and how can you help me? And in order for you to know and help, you have to have the information and the ability. So believe in yourself, and then you'll be able to create other leaders.
And upline are the one who came into the business first. And this business is actually very simple. We need to keep it very simple. And most of the people actually encounter very similar challenges and difficulties. The upline are the ones, who went through those things before already, and they can pass on very good experience, a summary of the results from their past experiences of overcoming all those challenges. So being a downline, the easiest thing is, they already, follow the upline, the path that they went through. They would, share with you their experiences of overcoming.
Everyone knows that nobody can do the business for you. So the key is you reach out to the people you know and learn from them. If you're determined enough, that's what you're going to do. You're not going to wait around for some absent parent to come back and become this good parent. Just be grateful for your birth and reach out and see what it's going to take to get where you're going to go.
To me, a great leader is one that has a thirst for knowledge. It's important to always continue to grow. You never know enough in order to succeed, but also a great leader takes that knowledge and helps their downline succeed as well. To me, a great leader doesn't say, let's go. A great leader says, walk with me. Help me go forward together. Help us see that vision together.
What keeps John and I glued to this business, if you want to call it that, is that this vehicle allows us in some way to help people help themselves. And there's magic when you know you had something to do with the betterment of that person. Of course, I don't claim that I made them better because I know better than that. But it's about helping them help themselves. And when that happens, there's no stopping. You don't want to quit that.
Building a successful team means you will need a good leader, and you will need to be a good leader, usually at the same time. As you and the people around you practice the success formula in your life, most of this will come almost naturally to you. We are often asked, how does one become a good leader? Well, Goethe taught that if you treat people as if they were what they ought to be, you help them become what they are capable of being. I would add to that by saying that while you are doing that for someone, you yourself are then growing and becoming more. It is a marvelous circle to be caught up in.
There's another saying is a good leader has to be a good follower first. Only after you follow, then you know how to lead. Because when you follow, you really know, what are there so that you can, learn how to improve.
Well, that's the purpose of being a good leader. You've got to unlock the potential of the other people. If you can unlock the potential of your downline, you've just built a strong and powerful organization.
You want the people to follow the way that you did because you really, went through all those challenges as well. So you want them to be faster and to follow the same way that you do. But if you are not following if you're not following your upline, how will your downline following you as the upline?
There is immeasurable benefit that comes when upline leaders support downline efforts to the fullest extent. Downline executives know whether an upline leader really cares about them or not. And even at a corporate level, when a manager truly cares for his or her people, those people are going to do things that ordinarily they wouldn't do when they know that their upline manager cares about them personally and is interested in their success.
You want to be the kind of leader that other people want to follow. And in order to become that, you have to become that. It has to be part of your soul. It has to be part of your spirit. People know when you care about them. You can't fake that. You have to say, I care about you and I want you to be successful. And then help them do that. And part of that is taking and making yourself the best you can be. Because they'll want to follow someone that has those traits, that has traits perhaps that they're missing or virtues that they haven't seen in themselves that they want to develop. They want to hang out with you because they say, she's all these things and she's got this positive attitude. Maybe a little bit of it will rub off on me. And that is why people seek out leaders. They want to rub elbows or with them because they think that some of it will rub off. I don't think that they're expecting actually success to rub off. I think it's the spirit of being around them that's contagious.
And when you work with the organization, it's not about your authority. You can only inspire them, but not to instruct them. So and how will you inspire them? It's really about how you walk your talk. You can talk all the time, but are you leading? By example, are you really doing the things that you tell them to do, or you try to inspire them to do? It's about what you do. You must walk your talk rather than just talk. Be a walker, not a talker.
And then you have your problems, you have your ups, you have your downs. And that is how the progression takes place. And as in raising children, you help them by encouragement, by strengthening their strengths for the next step and the next step and the next step. But you want them to learn to do it themselves. It's not doing it for them. You can't build this business for somebody. Nobody wants a manager. Nobody wants a boss. They want a leader that is willing to be in the trenches with them to show them the way by being there just like a parent would be until they are on their own and they can show their people the same direction. And it's never, okay, now we're through here, now you can do this. It's always this continuous journey, and as your kids get older, there's other levels of this support that you give them. It's the same way in this business.
What you need to do is to work as a team. Work with your upline to learn from your upline and duplicate that and teach your downlines. And be patient, be persistent, have a positive outlook. Your attitude, I think, is very, very important in this business. And in the end, I think it's leadership. So everybody started with different background. In the end, I think if you look at all the successful Blue Diamonds in the company, they all bring their special talent, which is different for each individual. But in the end, I think it's how they work and interact and lead the groups.
I'm not exactly sure who Weiland is, but I love this quote of his. There are two types of people, anchors and motors. You want to lose the anchors and get with the motors because the motors are going somewhere and they're having fun. The anchors will just drag you down. Truer words were never spoken. First, make certain that you are a motor and not an anchor in the life of others. Then I believe it's so important that you carefully surround yourself with people that are motors. As you watch this video, you met many of the people whom I consider key players on my personal team. These people have helped me accomplish a lot in my life, and I know I could not have done much without them. If I could share a single piece of advice with you on this topic, it would be this. Be the type of person that attracts the type of people you want to be around. It all begins with you, but it all depends on the team you create. Go to your workbook or simply jot down the people on your team whom you most admire and then emulate them. Then I'd like you to jot down some other people you know and admire that are not yet on your team. What do you need to do to get them on your team? Tune out your critics and turn up the volume on your supporters. Life is a team sport. See you again real soon with the next ingredient in the success formula.